Hello to our audience here and hello to our audience at home. We're on our very best behaviour tonight. We've got to be very careful because our guest is Henry Cooper.
And we're going to cook for you a lovely curried beef pie and also to go with it, beautiful Indian style cabbage.
Aren't they nice? Thank you very much. First thing one does before one cooks, when you're done up like this, is an apron. I'm going to start off first with the curried meat, I should say, that's going into David's pie. I've started here by melting 60 grams of butter, which I'll put now over a high heat. I've chopped up here one large onion, fairly fine, but not too fine, because you want some sort of guts to this pie. After all, pies are pies, aren't they? And I don't know where to put it, leave it there. So I'm just going to cook all this over a high heat, but firstly I want to add some cloves of garlic to this, a couple of cloves of good garlic. Makes your breath smell so beautiful. But then if you eat parsley after, it's lovely. There's a lovely big rubbish tin right behind here. I knew I'd do that.
The only one you've got, Pete, so don't lose it.
What? Don't know what you're talking about. So 2 cloves of garlic in there. Now I've got a pound of beautiful lean mince here. Stir this round to get this going. And I've got a blob of it here. If you're using it like this and it comes home, break it into a pot in small portions because you want to get this well fried and fairly quickly. So break it up into pieces so that you can get the heat to it more quickly. That's what I'm really trying to say. So here we've got the onions, the butter, I hope, the garlic and the meat. Now I'm going to cook this over a high heat for about 2 or 3 minutes just to get it started cooking.
Now for the vegetables in this, we have 1 carrot cut up into little cubes like that, and you'll see a stalk of celery which I've also cut up. But when you're using celery, whether you're going to cook it or you're going to eat it, you know, with a piece of cheese, it's a good idea just to string it a little bit if it's got any strings on, so that they don't sort of get between your teeth. Which I do, you know, and then you have to go pull like that. I think you've got dental floss in there or something. And then just cut that up into small, cut it up again into cubes or dice. Don't have to be that accurate with it. You know, people go, well, chop, 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 chop. It's all right for them, they're trained. We're only novices. Oh, but we do well. So that's just some celery and also 2 sticks of celery and 1 medium-sized carrot cut up into dice like that, you see. Now with it we're going to, oh, here it is, wonder where it was. We're adding to this a medium-sized can of corn, and just drain the liquid off there, like that. It's sort, not too much, it's about medium size. It's about a cup and a half of corn, whoops. And in that goes 2, and over my shoulder goes 1 sieve. And that we're going to use into the pie later on. So I'll just hand this to Peter.
Take you anywhere, can't you? Thank you very much. What's that? Okay, you can go now. Now, I've brought this up to a golden brown. I won't show it at the moment because it isn't, it's still pink. But it doesn't matter at this stage. So I'll keep it hidden from your view until the curry goes in. Now, I'm adding into this now a tablespoon. I'm using a good hot curry here because you want a good, and it doesn't matter if you go overboard with it. The more curry, the better. A little salt. Not very much, because I'm not a great believer in salt in cooking. Add that at the end if you want to. And why, I don't know. I've put my apron nearly caught on fire. Oh, I know why. I've got this on. Well, it was hot in here. No, you just... it's not funny. Cooking with gas is all right. I nearly went up in the air. So you mix this all round very well. There's that blowfly again. Mix this all round again. And why I put the curry powder in first, which I wanted to explain, is to explode the curry, because that makes all the flavours come out. Made that lady jump. So that the flavours will become more determined. So anything with spices you're using, it is better to explode them in oil or butter first, and that brings out all the oils within them. So I'm just leaving this like this for the moment until David does the other things for me to finish off this stew.
Right. Now, to flavour it and also to thicken it a little, we add to that now about a tablespoon to just over a 1/4 cup of warm water, a tablespoon of corn flour. That's just to thicken. Oh, I wish he'd stopped doing that.
got a little lady behind here. She's only a foot high.
And a teaspoon of beef stock powder, or you could use a cube, you know, just done up. And that's all you really need, but it just thickens it just that little bit so it, you know, doesn't go all sloppy and horrible. So that's all you need, just beef stock powder and the cornflour.
Oh, it's handy having that sink there, isn't it? Now, I've got to add to this now. Before I do that, I want to add in some tomato paste. Now, I'm using a tomato concentrate here, and if you've opened it, you've got a tin and you don't use it all, it doesn't keep terribly well, even in a refrigerator. So put it into some ice cube trays, squeeze it all, spoon it all in, freeze it, then pop it out into a plastic bag, keep it in the deep freeze, and then when you want some, it virtually comes out as a good teaspoonful, just measure it in. So I'm going to put now a tablespoon of curry paste into this. If I undid it, I suppose it'd help, wouldn't it?
Oh, Peter.
Oh, and look, I've done this all before. Tablespoon of tomato concentrate I'm using here. Make sure you stir it. I don't like waste. Stir that well round. Get that going. Just adds an added bit of zest to this. And then David's mixture of corn flour and beef stock here. And that's really just to bind up the meat again. Must get velour put on those. And then that stands on the stove there and simmers away for about 4 or 5 minutes until it's ready.
Oh, hello.
Oh, and you know I've done it again.
What?
And as my final thing, a teaspoon of garam masala, which is a mixture of very aromatic Indian herbs, and that just goes in and brings the flavour entirely up. All I've got to do is fry and stew a bit of meat, and I forgot that.
I know, mine's so hard. I'm sweating like nobody's business.
Oh,
Now, all I got
titty.
was a packet of flaky pastry, and I've rolled out a sheet there, one of them little packets, about a 7-ounce packet. Shut up! And I've rolled that out. That's going to go over the top of the pie. This other piece of pastry, there's a gnat here. I'm just going to do, because we want to put some strips around it, and anyway, we've got to have the pie first, so just cut off some strips roughly at this point of time to put around the edge of the pie dish itself when it comes over to me, which it will be in about half an hour.
I'm getting there. It's a long way to walk in this kitchen. Now, this is a cooled one.
Get it in, quick.
We should shut up.
It's been in the fridge.
It's easier to make a pie with a cold filling than it is with a hot one.
Well,
even
you
though
need
this is
it
curry.
cold. Right, you got it. Oh, come on, Pete, hurry up.
I've got to get there.
Pack it down. We never have
I'm
enough time.
packing
Look at all
it
that rubbish.
I'll pick it up while you're doing that.
Oh, God, you're supposed to help me. Put some of these strips. I'll do this quickly. Put some of these strips around like this, because this takes longer
What'll I
than
do,
normal.
water it?
No, put the strip round.
Oh, where are they?
Here, one here.
They're not round.
Well, of course they're not round. They're straight. You can't cut them on the curve. Now, put some water on it. Oh, I don't know whether they're alcohol hindrance. Come on, quick.
I'm hurrying.
Right, hurry, quicker.
There you are.
Right. Now, what we do now is just put that pastry over the top of there, and my mum used to say knock it up, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. No, you trim, it's just trimming it. Anyway, trim the edge off. You know how to do that, don't you? I love doing this.
It's how you hold your mouth. It's very important. Look. You ought to do that.
Right. And just press that down all the way around. And this is what I mean, just do the edge decoratively. You can either do it with a fork or just with your thumb all the way around. You just start brushing that with a...
It's a lovely pattern, teeth.
Especially if you take them straight out of the glass, so they're nice and cold. Just brush that over there. Then we made some little H's. I'll just
shout in my ear.
I know, well, you get me nerve-wracked.
What do you think you're
We
doing
made
to
some
me?
little H's and we did some leaves as well. I'll show you how to do the leaves in a minute.
Some leaves.
One's for Hudson,
past my
one's for
window.
Halls, and one is for Henry Cooper.
Aren't they impressed? I'm glad you're pleased about that. But you can do any sort of initials. I could think of a few I'd like to put on here. Now, again, just brushing these with a little egg and water mixed together, because egg is actually a fraction too... Look at it, it isn't that.
If you want to do the leaves like this, I'll show you what to do. Just take one like that, sort of slightly
Pastry.
diamond-shaped piece of pastry, run it on the back of the knife, and then just with the tip of your knife, press like so, and press the other side like so, and put those on there like that.
Oh.
I'll just show you again. Run it down with the
Blues come
back
off my
of the
glasses.
knife like that.
Oh.
Press, I'm not worried about them, press, and then press the other
Chatty
side
little
like
fellow,
that.
isn't he?
There you are, lovely. Now this should
Everyone
theoretically...
should have one in their kitchen. Preferably in the dustbin.
A couple of holes in the stop, let the steamer. Now theoretically what should happen, that should be set in the fridge for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, because if it goes really cold, the pastry, when you put it in a hot oven, it will explode and puff up nicely.
Explode?
No, it will
Not a
puff
Chinese
up nicely.
curry.
Oh, there's sieves all over the place, everything. Now I have one in the oven here. What you do, you put it in a fairly high heat at about 425 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 220 Celsius, or gas mark 7. Do it for 10 minutes. Then after 10 minutes, reduce the heat to 350 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius, or gas mark 4, and you see how nice and brown it goes. It shouldn't really take longer than about 20 to 25 minutes to cook completely, and that's all you do.
Yeah, that's the last bit I had to do. I've done all the washing up, cleaned up, vacuumed.
Right.
And there's your 5-ton chopping board you insist on using. Anyhow, let's welcome our guest of the evening.
Yep.
Delighted to have with us, Henry Cooper. Big chap, isn't it? Can I ask 2 questions at once? Like a glass of wine, do your
What
cook?
a grand
Mouton
idea.
cadet, perhaps.
Oh, a little mouton.
Yes, why not?
Oh, grand.
Well, all the best for the best.
Well,
Of
cheers.
course. Welcome, Henry. We're intrigued to know, do you actually cook yourself?
No,
Not yourself, but yours.
I have an Italian wife, and to go in the kitchen with an Italian wife is taboo, thank God.
Yeah.
So I keep out, and my wife cooks, and I'm happy to leave it that
She
way.
does ravioli, I've heard.
Yeah, well,
Magnificent
that's my
ravioli.
favourite. Yeah, the northern Italians do this ravioli, what they cook in the brodo, in the chicken broth, you know, and I love that. That's that version I like.
It's so good for you too, I
Oh,
can see that.
you can tell.
And one of your sons cooks as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, my youngest boy, John, he did a 2-year catering course at Ealing College there, and now he left there about 6 months ago, and he's just opened a sandwich bar in London, right opposite Euston Station. So I can fully recommend it, folks.
Go there. And you might see him behind the counter because he shreds all the letters.
Yes, I do the washing up.
I've got to go on and do something, if you'd excuse me. I'm going to start off on
Okay.
another thing
And
for
we'll
the
get ready
cabbage.
here.
Right, I'll have a sip of this.
Oh, and you don't leave the... Oh. You do not leave the pan over the gas flame. Now, I've got here... Can't see, I've gone all blind. I've got a bung eye, and it wasn't Henry's fault either. I've put in here 2 tablespoons of peanut oil, nice vegetable oil, and I'm adding to this to start... Oh, it's my night, isn't it? I'm adding into this now 1.5 teaspoons of mustard seeds. Now, the same principle with the curry, I want to burst the flavour of these so that they'll come out in the eventual sauce. We're going to do a cabbage dish to go with the pie. So
Now,
that's what I'm doing.
Right, what we're going to put in that too, we've got here 2 green chilies. Now, these are very... What are you laughing at? I don't see funny about that. 2 green chilies.
I've done it again.
Now, when you're using these at home, try not to touch them with your bare hands, because if you do and then rub your eye or something like that, you'll get a really bad eye because they're very hot. You like hot things, don't you, Henry?
Oh, mustard, yeah.
That's why I know. Hey, listen, could
I'll
you
let
chop
you
that
know.
up for me? Because
Can
my
I tell
arm
you,
hurts.
poor old soul?
I know.
What's that?
I can't help it. It's nerves.
God, I don't know.
That's it.
You can see I'm used to being in the kitchen.
Well, I do.
You sure?
Yeah. Pop it in there.
In there.
There's a good boy. Thank you.
All the
Now,
juices.
also with that, we won't touch it with our hands
No,
and do what
no.
I said. Also with that, we took 1 onion and just cut it up roughly into rings. So if you wouldn't mind passing that over to Peter, please. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Blue corner.
You call it Peter.
Oh, thank you.
They understand.
Thank you. Thank you, Henry. So we're just putting these in now. I'm still sautéing the mustard seeds there. There you are. And now I'm just going to cook these till they're soft because there's still more things to go into this before the cabbage.
Right, here I
a
Henry. Here's some
nasty
more
dish,
stuff
this.
now. This is some more spices to go in.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
I want a teaspoonful of curry
Teaspoonful of
powder.
curry.
Yeah.
I like a bit of curry, so I'll
Right,
have a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half a teaspoon of turmeric.
Of what?
Turmeric.
Turmeric. Oh,
Turmeric.
that's about.
Yeah, that'll do, yeah.
That looks good.
And a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom.
quarter.
Yeah.
How's that? Yeah, I like a bit of that. And then
That'll do.
give that a mix.
Give it a mix.
Give that a mix.
Yeah. Pass it over to Peter.
Okay, Pete. Coming over with blue corn, then, son.
Thank you, Henry.
look
Oh,
at that.
lovely,
Handsome.
lovely blend that.
Smells beautiful.
Oh, yes, beautiful. These are very aromatic spices we're using here. They're in with the onions and the mustard seed again, just to keep breaking out these flavours until we eventually get the cabbage.
Right,
Good.
I've got that coming. Oh,
So it's Christmas, but still.
now, Henry,
There we
we usually cut the cabbage up in the food process, but we won't tonight. I'd like you to cut up instead, please, like say doing coleslaw.
Oh my God, you've self-done this
listen,
bit.
I never read that you were a southpaw.
Yeah, well, I'm left-handed in everything I do. The only thing I didn't do left-handed was box. Because most left-handed people, when they stand up, you know, they stand up southpaw, which is right hand and right leg forward. And all right, darling. All right. But I always was orthodox, you know.
So you're really what they call
yeah.
ambidextrous.
Andy, what?
Ambidextrous.
Oh, yeah, all right. If you say so.
Yeah, that's a nice job.
I might be fingerless in a minute.
Well, don't go right to the end. I don't want you to cut your finger, mate.
Yeah, no, let's
we
do
don't want
the-
any blood with
Let's
it.
do the job
All
properly.
right, let's cut that bit away. So if
Right.
you wouldn't mind giving that to Peter too, and
Yes.
cabbage. Over to the blue corner.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. There we are.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, Henry, that's artistic.
What do you reckon about that?
That is artistic. I don't think I'll use it
Artiste
all.
word.
Now we've got... Now this is called sweating the cabbage. So I'm going to put... Yes, I'm not going to use... Yes, you sweat it by just letting it go over a fairly dry heat. Now I'm just going to mix all... Oh, this is a nice small pan, isn't it, to do all this in. That goes.
Do it now.
Don't trip over all the spoons that are on the floor. Mary, get that one.
Doesn't it?
Just toss this round in here. Now I'm adding to this now 1/4 cup of water. This is just to create more full steam, as if it's not hot enough. About 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Excuse me.
Poor old-
You
Poor
want
old
to be
soul.
here. And a little salt just to bring out the flavours. And then toss this over. It should be covered, but I'm not going to cover it at the moment. Just let this until the cabbage actually goes limp.
Wilts.
And wilts is the word, like I am at the moment. Everything's wilted. I'll lift that up for you to see there. You see, you get all this covered like this. And I'm going to now saute this again for about a couple more minutes.
Right. Henry, I was going to ask you, you said you like really spicy food.
Yeah.
You said something, you've got a friend who's Thai or something.
Hello.
No, a friend of mine had a Thai cook and housekeeper, and he invited us around to dinner one night. He said, come on, we'll have a typical Thai meal. And I know they done some sort of, I'm not sure it was curried, but it was hotter than curry prawns. Yeah. And boy, I had tears streaming down my face, and my wife saying, God, leave them. I'm saying, no, I've enjoyed them. What are you talking about?
Listen, I'll tell you what, will you excuse me a minute while I'm just going to get this pie
Of course,
out,
I'm looking
right?
at this.
What,
This is
shall we go down to
interesting.
the pub and leave this?
Why not? Why not? No, this is looking good.
But you can see how it softens up quite quickly. I don't want to get it to that awful
soggy.
sludge, soggy thing. I want still some
What do you
Christmas
Italians
to
call indenting?
it. Al dente. Ah, prego, prego.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's virtually done, and I've got another thing to do to this eventually, but I'll give that another minute or so.
Yeah, it looks good. Oh,
Yeah, have a look at that. What do you reckon of that?
Bad, not bad.
3 H's on there.
Yeah, one's for you. See, Henry,
Oh, Henry.
Hudson and Halls.
What a great, well, cheers. Man.
Cheers. Oh, I'll tell you what I was going to do. One of the other things I wanted to do.
Oh, sorry, just before you go on, I'm sorry. Just one final thing here. I've brought this cabbage down, and I'll hold it up again for you to see. It's turning a nice colour. You can see the colours there that the spices have done and the curry powder. I wish you could smell it, because it does smell beautiful. And oh, can you smell it? Oh, I'll go.
Good enough to eat.
I hope so. But I'm adding in now, finally, a cup of shredded coconut. Now, this is the one that's this shape, not the, as I call it, decimated coconut, which is the all chopped up one. This is shredded, like little white worms, and it's not, this one's not sweetened. So this goes in, again, tossed through the pan and cooked for another couple of minutes.
Henry, we'll have a dessert, I think.
Yes, good.
Now, we thought what we'd do, because that's quite spicy, well, we thought we'd do just a very simple dessert. So say, all I've got here is 2 tins of mangoes.
Mangoes. Oh, I thought
Medium-sized tins. No, they look a bit like peaches, but
Peaches,
they're
yeah, I
not.
thought they were
They're
tins of
mangoes,
mangoes, right.
and in their syrup, in their juice as well. Then we add that, where is it? The juice of half a lemon, just to sharpen it up. You don't need anything else. And just blend this. Now, while I'm blending this, if you wouldn't, if I switch it on, I always do this every time.
Well, easy.
While I'm doing that, could you find in there, in the top, there's a frozen one there somewhere, or it might be down below,
Oh, yeah, it is, I
and
think.
a couple of glasses.
There we are, sir.
That's the glasses.
Beautiful. And now you want this.
No, there's one. I think I put it down below just to soften up a bit. Did we not?
No, I can't see.
Might be in the
Oh,
freezer.
there it is. Sorry.
Oh, you mean this?
Get it out. Yeah, sorry.
Gotcha, I see what you mean.
Don't keep saying sorry.
Yeah, get it
Not
out,
at
Henry.
all.
Oh, God, I've got wine. Oh, I've got
Oh,
wine.
my God. His best shirt.
Now, I'll tell you something. If you do that at home, and I haven't got any to put on here now, if you ever do that on a cloth at home and you get red wine on a white cloth, immediately put some white wine on it and that will take all that stain out.
Yeah.
Or soda water.
Yeah, white wine's quicker.
And you can have a drop as well.
Now, all we would do with this, as I say, is just put that in there. It's just pureed like that, as you can see.
Beautiful.
Then you just freeze that. You've got the frozen one.
That's the
So,
frozen.
yeah.
Do you want that
would
back in the
like-
fridge?
No, no, no,
No,
no, no.
right.
Would you
Gotcha.
like to scoop that out into
Oh,
those
yeah.
three glasses for us, please?
Right.
Right. Might
Right.
be a bit hard.
Oh, my God. I thought it was like blancmange.
Oh, no, you do an excellent job.
Well,
Ever been in the ice cream business?
not yet, but
That
I'm
was the
thinking
first
of it.
time.
There's some lovely pressed green mint to go on the
Oh,
top.
lovely. A little bit of leaf.
Fresh out of the garden, that is.
Look, just a single leaf, I think, yes. A little bit artistically done. Look at. You can tell I was an heavyweight fighter, can't you? Look at that.
Wonderful.
George, that's
Absolutely.
very artistic.
Wonderful.
Would you mind, my cabbage is finished. May I have those 3 plates there? Well, you've got to sing for your supper.
Come on then, you want it on there?
And we're just in the front there, thank you. Now, that's the cabbage. And we're serving this, as George, Henry said so rightly, al dente, which means to the teeth, which means it's got a little bit of firmness still to it. It's not cooked to death, in other words.
You know, most people cook cabbage and they boil it for
Like
about
you,
2
yes.
hours and it stinks all the house out. Well, at least this is a nice
Well, at least
smell.
it's got an aromatic taste. But that's so the onions and everything really are cooked sufficient to eat. We're serving that separately like that because it means we get more of the pie on a plate. So I'm just being a pig, so that's all.
Now,
So
would
that's
you
the
like
cabbage,
to take
which
one of
doesn't look bad,
those
does
One of those.
and one cabbage?
One of these.
I'll bring the pie and Peter can take the other 2 cabbage.
We'll go through to
And
the
we're gonna
dining room.
eat.
After you, Henry.
After me,
Here we go.
There we go.
Kicking that aside
My
like that.
God, it's great.
We'll put you
yeah.
in the middle there.
I'll sit in the middle. Right, well done. Well, that's grand, isn't it? So,
Now we've got, there's the cabbage there, Henry, which I think looks appetising.
Appetising,
Certainly smells
yeah.
nice. And we've got there, we thought, the mango ice, which is very simple.
yeah.
Sorry about that, it's a bit, you know.
Can I have a little notch
Yes,
of
of
this?
course you can.
It's just looking
Start.
tempting. I want to.
And we've got the pie there, and we thought rather than a wine, a beer is much better with this than a wine because the flavours are so strong. That's beautifully served there. You've done that well. Would you like a plate of pastry?
Oh, I'll give this to Henry and I'll serve ours out in a minute.
You've done that. You could take you anyway.
I know.
Yes, isn't it?
That's
Let's
hot,
try
that
it.
is.
You look, have a
lovely.
try that, mate.
Have a try that.
Yeah, get
Right.
into it, get stuck in.
Anyhow, Henry, before we get stuck into it, thank you very much for sparing the time to come
God,
tonight.
it's been
Thank
my
you for
pleasure.
all the wonderful work you do for charity that you've
Lordy.
done.
No, it's
and
my
God
pleasure.
bless
Thank
to
you.
you.
May your
God
golf
bless our
go
audience.
forever.
God bless everybody at home. We'll see you
Cheers
next
all.
week.
Goodbye.
I'll have a piece of pie.
I know, I'll get you
What a
I didn't
stinking
cut it right at the end. Nice.
Good.
Would you really rather have a bit more curry?
This is good.
Oh, no, that's perfect.
This is handsome. This.
It is nice flavour.
Yeah.
You want one of those? It's nice to get good. Lovely, lovely.
It's good.
Oh, get out there. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Meant to be.
I do it.
Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Well, the cabbage is easy, but it gives people just a bit of a different idea.
Yeah.
And it's got a bit of go to it.
It's time for you to get some sandwiches, isn't it?